I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Yo, what's up? Check it out. It's your boy L7. Today, I got a very special guest. Check it out. This is my boy right here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Triston Mendez. I'm a part of Our Revolution Los Angeles. Now we are all part of Movement for a People's Party, which is MPP. And I'm also starting a podcast, which will be following MPP and Our Revolution LA, ORLA, as well as we'll get more into more information about that later on. But this podcast will be called Smoke Filled Room. And you with your boy Tristan.
All right, cool, man.
Take it
That
away.
podcast, man, we're definitely going to be checking that out. And I'll be definitely doing a follow-up after your first episode. But I want to ask you right quick, so you said you work with ORLA, or Our Revolution in Los Angeles now, you know, you guys working with MPP. What did you do with Our Revolution LA, like, you know, during your time there? Like, what's your experience in activism?
So what we did basically, Our Revolution LA is the LA chapter of the National Our Revolution. And basically what Our Revolution does is it tries to get volunteers to donate, and as well as supporters to donate money and help run progressive candidates that are officially endorsed by Our Revolution. Our Revolution Los Angeles is the chapter that covers Los Angeles County, and basically what Jerry Perez, our field director, his goal before meeting me was to establish a chapter in most of the cities within Los Angeles County. And so he recruited me and a few of my other fellow students at my university in Pomona. And basically, we got together and we formed Young Progressives of America. And eventually, Jerry Perez reached out to us and we transferred our name to our Revolution Los Angeles chapter. So I'm basically the leader of our Revolution chapter in Pomona, our Revolution LA chapter in Pomona. So
That's
that's
sweet,
a
man.
little bit about me.
That's cool,
but,
man. All right.
Yeah, basically with our Revolution LA, yeah, we basically endorsed a bunch of candidates, and we usually take them off our endorsement list unless if they don't make it past the ballot because they're no longer running. And basically, we have a candidate in Pomona for city council. If anyone here just so happens to be from Pomona, her name is Miranda Sheffield. So we're basically trying to. We were about to get started with her campaign because she's really ambitious and she's been running to run her campaign since long before any other candidate. She's really excited about it, but we unfortunately haven't been able to get around to her because of this COVID-19 quarantine. But we also are running Angelica Duenas and Fatima, I believe her name is Igbar. I'm really bad at pronouncing names.
That's the right.
But,
Hey, you know what's really cool though? Check it out. If you send me some names of people who work for Our Revolution here in New York, I'll try to like who endorse candidates. We'll try to do something where we have like a shared event, and we'll try to set something up. Like they could coordinate something together. You know what I mean? Like they could have like a day of appreciation for like COVID crisis workers or something like that, and we could do something on the same day that you guys do, and we could coordinate that, and that would be cool. You know what I mean? I also do like online tutoring. And what I could do is like, I do that like, I coordinate all my students across the country. And then what I did was we had a day where we gave money to charities and stuff like that. And then the winner got like free tutoring for the rest of the year. So, you can like organize all kinds of cool little like national little programs like that I'm sure we're going to be doing real soon, man. I'm really excited to meet another person from LA. Lisa, my co-host, is from LA. You know what I mean? She'd probably be meeting up with you guys one of these days. Oh, man, it sounds like a fun time, man. I'm really looking forward to my time with you, man.
yeah, I'll definitely try and get either Jerry Perez or myself to get you into contact with our New York chapter of Our Revolution, because that would be really perfect.
Yeah. So, look, you've got to experience a lot of things that other people, might not even experience in this lifetime. A lot of people just go to work and they're like freaking robots, you know what I mean? But you got to have all these cool experiences. Now, did your perspective change right when you first started? Like, what kind you first got you into activism, and then that's been enough to propel you and to sustain you through the struggle? Because I know it wasn't always easy. Like I know you had to like do extra things with your time when we could have been playing video games or whatever. What made you go that extra mile? Like what made you do that extra work?
Um, well, when I first got into college, in my senior year of high school, I used to think school was meaningless and everything was meaningless, and going to college was going to be meaningless. And then I realized in my senior year, I needed to really get into it because I realized going to college was actually going to be probably the best experiences of my life. And yeah, it's definitely one of the best. But I went in as a math major. I thought, as a Mexican, I had to be really good at something, and I chose to be really good at math. Then I realized after a year I hated math, and I got into political science since I was always a little bit interested in that. And that was in 2016 was when I changed my major from math to political science. So in 2016, the whole election happened. I didn't know how to feel about it. I just knew Hillary Clinton was trash, and so was Donald Trump. He was also trash, and I was like, Bernie Sanders. Everyone says bad things about him because I'm surrounded by, because for some reason, and I mean at my university specifically, it felt like most of these political science majors, they definitely come from, I want to say, privileged backgrounds and more upper class backgrounds. And so I was surrounded by all these people who are, because conservatives, like, they kind of want you to believe that one day you can be rich and have all these things, and like you can be a capitalist one day, and that you are a capitalist now, but you're not a capitalist unless you own capital or business or something. So it's just kind of like they brainwash you. And then basically, I believe in 2018, what happened was I read Malcolm X, who is up there.
Yeah.
And I read actually this autobiography.
Yeah.
It's pretty famous.
You know, it's also cool, man. There's a lot of speeches available online, and you should listen to them.
Yeah, on YouTube, almost
Yeah.
all of them I believe are there.
I listen to them too.
But yeah, so
Love
I
them.
read Malcolm X, and I
Yeah.
just so happened to be taking a labor history class.
Okay.
And basically we were reading books like this right here. That's not the right book. We were reading books like this right here.
You know his speech
So
about
pretty crazy.
You know his speech about the house Negro versus the field Negro.
Yeah, that's Malcolm X.
I made a video with that, like portraying different people in this campaign.
Yeah, I actually bring that up a lot to people.
I'll show you.
Just
The card's gonna be
randomly.
up there. Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. So yeah,
So I was reading about all these labor activism, Malcolm X and the Black Panthers, all basically in the same, like half a year, I guess.
Did they have you
And
read
then it
this in
changed my
school,
perspective
or
entirely.
like did you pick these up by yourself, or what happened?
I had this roommate who
Okay.
he likes to make these books, like picture books type things, and he's a huge conspiracy theorist. It's
Okay.
great. I really love him. I miss him. But he gave me this book one day. He told me I have to read it because I never read it, and I was like, you know what? I'll read it. And this is by far the greatest book I've ever read in my life.
That's
Like
cool,
this
man.
book, like I don't know, like when in movies, like when something happens to someone and then everything flashes before their eyes, like their whole
Yeah.
life. Like basically, I read this book, and I all the memories of all the problems that didn't make sense in the world that happened to me.
Yeah.
I realized were just products of racism because I'm half white and half brown. But a lot of white people perceive me as brown, and a lot of brown people perceive me as white.
Yeah, it's tough,
so,
man. Yeah.
So
Tulsi.
then I realized, all the racist stuff I went through happens to millions of people. And so then we formed I got together with some buddies. We got together because Bernie Sanders had a Students for Bernie program.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you'll know
All
about
right.
this.
That's dope, man.
So I have this certificate, and I was in the first class of this Students for Bernie program.
Crazy.
And I met up with another person from the class, and we formed a club called Young Progressives of America, YPA.
All right.
And we all formed a club. We got almost 100 students in the first semester to join our club.
I think that number might grow real fast.
Yeah. So then,
You on that?
so then I
you on that Twitter?
Yeah.
Are you on that Twitter?
Yeah.
Word. Okay, my boy, Progressive Martial Artist, has like a strong Twitter, so I'm gonna get him to bounce out. He's got people in South Carolina and in Oregon, so we're gonna make sure that we're gonna try to get you banging out over there. Good times, man. Oh, I'm super excited, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So YPA was corrupt, and basically one of the selling points of my club was I decided to pursue independent journalism.
Wait, YPA is
And
corrupt?
basically-
What?
Yeah, it's not really corrupt. It's not really going anywhere as an organization, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's just kind of like a small, tiny cult.
Why do you think that
But
happened?
so it's just ego and personal glory and greed,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, that's
So
real
yeah,
sad.
I was a journalist. I only managed to do it every week for I think 5 weeks.
I'm
I
sorry.
sent out
I
my
just have one more
weekly
question
newsletter.
because I've done a lot of
No,
stuff with
go for
student
it. Go for it.
I've done a lot of stuff with student organizations.
Go for it.
Did any like school administrators or did any like older people start coming in and messing with your organization and started control the way things went, or were the students completely in control?
Well, the students were in control, but we didn't. Okay, so it's a complicated story. So basically, um, I'll just finish my story because
I'm
basically
sorry.
the
Okay.
story ends
Yeah.
right before we actually formed and became an official club. Because the way the it works for to establish a club is you have to go in the summer, in
Yeah.
the middle of summer, to the university itself to take this like class for I think 2 days or something,
Which
and
university
then
is this?
you're Cal Poly Pomona,
Is that like a? Is
California
that like a?
Polytechnic State
Is that
University.
that's a state California state school?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a state university.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so basically we didn't make it to the class because the students for Burning thing ended after the class was officially put on, and that university is known as a commuter school. So
Yeah.
just kind of doing that is kind of really 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 dumb and redundant. But anyway, so basically we ran as an unofficial club for at least I believe 2.5 months, um, because we didn't have the official status, but we were still functioning as a club.
Good.
Because basically what Jerry Perez does, our LA field director,
Yeah.
what he does is he's running around making connections, scheduling stuff,
Yeah.
spreading awareness.
Honestly, sometimes not
That
having
was basically
yeah.
what I was doing.
Sometimes not having official designation is only bad because sometimes you can't like get like certain events on campus. But there's so many there's so many off campus options. Who cares? You know what I mean? And also, you know what I mean? The thing is that by not having a status, it allows you to do certain things that otherwise might like hamper you. You get what I mean? And also, once these freaking, school administrators, right, start to sniff around your thing, they usually poison and destroy like all kinds of stuff. They are deliberately there to prevent, right? Look at that, like that administrative rule where they prevented your club from being there. Don't you pay your mandatory student activity fee? Who are they to say that you didn't file your paperwork on time? It's there to serve the students. You know what I mean? Why can't the students just hire someone to tell them, yes, you can, and just do the paperwork for them? What do you mean you can't do it? There's like so many like overpaid administrators in those schools. It's freaking disgusting. You know what I mean? And they're so lazy. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable.
Yeah. Our bureaucracy for our university is extremely incompetent.
Yeah.
And I imagine it would be like that on a lot of
A
university
student
campuses.
literally paying thousands of dollars gives you a piece of paper and says, I want to start a club. Here's some other people that are interested as well, also paying students. And you're like, oh, F you didn't do it in time. You got to wait till next year, which is what, 3-4 months away? You didn't have any time in those 3 or 4 months where you could just file a piece of paper. Are you kidding me? It's so ridiculous. It is disgusting. You know what I mean? Okay, so sorry to rant about that, but that truth is,
Yeah, no, you're good.
They're full of crap, man. Don't listen to their crap, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we were on an unofficial club for 2.5 to 3 months, and my newsletter was basically the selling point of my club, because I did my own journalism, and it was very, very concise and short every week, and people would write back to me appreciating it. But it's actually funny. I wrote an op-ed in my school newspaper, and I followed their rules to the T. And they censored me for some Gen Z fashion article, and it was really stupid because I got a lot of hate mail after that because they censored me. But anyways, that's just a random thing. Like it tells you because it's not just bureaucracy that's corrupt and or incompetent in universities. It's also student or run organizations because in the end, the staff and the students are both humans and they're both susceptible to the same greed. But anyways,
also,
so
I don't necessarily. The thing is that, right? The school system does not teach students how to be leaders. It does not teach ethics, right? And a lot of these school administrators will play games with the students, right? So they can control the student money. I bet you, like your school may have like the students pay for parking passes. Your school may have students pay to rent like the theater. You know what I mean? If they want to use it for a student activity, who's paying so much tuition? Oh, is it students? You get what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the college
When I started, our
administrators,
parking permits were like $120, and then 6 years later, they went up to like $260. Like they just kept increasing it every year, and it is absurd. I never bought
way
a parking
above
pass
inflation.
after like half that time.
Way above
Yeah.
inflation, man. It's so ridiculous, man. And that's just the beginning of the stories. There's so much like that's actually one of my missions in life to fix that whole corruption problem. It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So
So basically,
Yeah.
at the end of our time as YPA, I investigated YPA for corruption
okay,
because they were very neglectful and they weren't helping. I was basically the only person in that whole organization doing anything aside from like the people who were on my university helping me. So
Yeah.
it was like I was the only true leader there. Because I did have help from my fellow students in Pomona, and I really appreciate their help. But like I was the one basically coming up with ways to get resources for really cheap or free. I was the one organizing all the joint events, all the guest speaking time at all the events, doing anything.
yeah,
And then I investigated them for corruption, and then they kicked me out without following their own bylaws or constitution at like 11 p.m. at night on a random day. And then
that's tough, man.
so after that, we became an official club, and I still ran things. But then Jerry Perez approached me. He's the field director of Our Revolution LA, and it's actually funny because he set up a meeting with me and another student, my boy Christian Arduz.
okay,
And I forgot we were supposed to meet with him, and he called me up, and I was about to leave campus. So it was so basically I went to go meet with Jerry, and then after that meeting, basically me and Jerry got along extremely well. We were same vibes, like same interests and hobbies. It was really crazy how that just lined up. And then we went from YPA to Our Revolution LA, and that is basically how we got here. And then after the Bernie suspended his campaign,
yeah,
we were talking about starting a third party because everyone here really wanted to do that. And then I saw the Movement for People's Party on Slack. I mean, on the Jimmy Dore show, not on Slack, sorry. On the Jimmy Dore show. I saw him on there twice, and then I decided to join the MPP. And then I pretty much pushed really hard to get Our Revolution Los Angeles to basically join the MPP coalition.
Cool.
Because I did join their Slack first. And then after that, a few days later, Jerry Perez went on the Jimmy Dore show, and we got a bunch of calls from a bunch of people. And we just, I believe, I don't know if Jerry wants this to be a secret, but he recently is doing, I think, a Veterans for a Third Party type movement with a bunch of veterans. Because again, Jerry is, I believe, an ex-Marine. So pretty soon there will be a public letter signed by a bunch of veterans.
okay,
And it'll just, I don't know who they're going to send it to. It's probably just going to be for the public, and it's going to be Veterans for a Third Party.
yeah.
So that's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for that.
Have you ever heard of a group called Veterans for Peace?
I believe so.
Yeah. So there are some organizations that he'll probably send it to, as well as be an open letter. I mean, just open in general. So that's cool, man, to find out that those things are going on. That you're, all about making things happen. Sometimes for some of us, I myself have also had a rocky political road. But the thing is that there's a lot of people who are ready to suck on the teat. And ready to steal from the people, and they lined up like crazy. And there's a few people who are ready to stand up and say that's not right. But then we're the ones who get crucified. You get what I mean? So I definitely can relate. I definitely can relate on that, man. But if you're a true warrior out there, there's a lot of other cats out there that are fighting that good fight, just like you were fighting that good fight, looking around saying, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And we can be that voice out there to say, yes, we're also going through that, but stay strong, do what you know is right, and keep working hard, and eventually we'll meet you. Come put something in the comments, come holler at us. Now, smoke-filled room, right? Is there a space? Is there a dash? Like when I look for that YouTube, I'll definitely put the link below. You on the Instagram?
I believe there's a dash between smoke and filled.
Okay, are you on the smoke dash filled room? Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on Instagram, Twitter, that kind of thing? What's the deal?
No, I just made the YouTube channel like I think yesterday.
Okay.
I just got my camera yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm probably I don't think I'm gonna even make a Instagram. I think I'm just gonna use my regular Instagram.
Okay.
Probably rebrand my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I don't like managing social media accounts. Because it's too time consuming. Sometimes you get sucked into it.
Yo,
And
remember?
but, I mean,
yeah.
I understand how everyone uses it and how important it is, obviously. But I personally try to stay away from it a lot of the times.
The okay, just my own personal like little note on that, right? One of the strongest things, like if you own a business, right, is your customer list. Because like if you're selling like that product that anybody else could sell, like who cares, you know what I mean? But if you have the customer list, you have people who buy from you on a regular basis, and you can make a little bit of money off of that. I mean, that's worth that money, bro. So if you got some people that can do actions, some people that can, like fill in some petitions, make some phone banks, you know what I mean? Yo, that's our resource, Taking Action Group. We definitely invited. That's every Sunday, man. One of these days you got to come visit us. Hell yeah. So right now, like there's your podcast right there. What do you think is the biggest obstacle to your success? Like like I know you're kind of like just starting it now, but like sometimes like a good like leader like can foresee problems or can anticipate, right? You have some organizational experience. What do you foresee as being your greatest obstacles to your success?
Well, I wouldn't say negative, like I guess comments or emails or messages or whatever, like hate. I wouldn't say that's an obstacle. I would say more of hate, specifically in the form of like denial, like factual denial.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty much the only real problem. That and like what I really envision the third party, the People's Party that will be created from the convention, the online convention that will happen for the MPP People's Party. I believe it. I envision having. God, I'm so sorry. I envision having basically another media outlet because the Democratic Party owns MSNBC and CNN, while the Republican Party basically owns Fox News. So I personally envision propping up a news network of progressive independent media to counteract that, because then we can defend ourselves.
We was literally talking about that earlier.
Us,
we were literally talking about with my boy progressive martial artist earlier, and also check it out. Boom. So the thing is, right? Like, there's that guy. You ever see that guy Valuetainment?
No, I've never seen him.
No? Oh, he's like very highly subscribed. So, like he said, right? He said that Republicans messed up because they didn't buy any media. They just concentrated on the money. But he says the Democrats, they went and bought like all the newspapers and the TV stations and stuff. So now he said the Republicans, right, you're effing up. Just buy some TV stations and some newspapers. And I'm like, damn, they're going to do it too. You know what I mean?
I believe Abraham Lincoln did that. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he bought a newspaper and had one that was speaking negative on him. And Thomas Jefferson, I don't know if he bought a newspaper, but he always preached, freedom of press. But he's like, oh, I'm president now. I gotta restrict that press a little bit.
Here's some issues, though, right? Yeah, YouTube, right? You can see that YouTube right now with the algorithm is always pushing mainstream media shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's so sad. You can see it for yourself. Like, try to look up like a modern day event. Like, look up Our Revolution and be like MSNBC, CNBC, no independent content creators. Like, if you try to search it on YouTube right now, it will literally push you towards those sites, which is disgusting. Yeah? So
it's very gross.
Yeah. But so the thing is that, right, there's got to be like either a twofold option. First of all, if we look at Bernie's revolution, right, where he collected $20 from everybody, there's definitely money in there for us to start our own cable news network or something like that. You know what I mean? That's a huge market. You get what I mean? So as movers into this space, we can really take over this market. We can be, right, the entrepreneurs of this particular market space. It's already a very big market, right? You have The Hill, you got Kyle Kalinske, you got Progressive Voice. So many people
Kyle
already.
Kalinske.
Yeah, it's a big field. It's a big field. There's a lot of space for more people. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot.
Tim Black too.
Tim Black, yeah. It's a huge market segment. Not only that, but also we have to work towards getting to make this thing a public utility. Because to tell you the truth, there's too much censoring going on YouTube. It's not cool. You know what I mean? And preference for like big corporations. That's whack, man.
Yeah, we definitely need a lot of laws to change in regards to campaign finance, campaign media coverage, because those two go hand in hand. And if the American people are going to vote, they have a right to be informed objectively with the truth on who each candidate is, without having one candidate be able to have more screen time or have biased news coverage that isn't true of them, while the other one doesn't get screen time, doesn't get offered to come on shows and be a guest, and doesn't get and has very biased news coverage against them. But that's a whole different discussion, because I think I have a lot of thoughts on that, because I really hate corruption.
I'm about to release this video like dead ass. Like, we're gonna get to that particular issue right there. You get what I mean? We're gonna get to that, because honestly, the left needs to consolidate, and they need to like make some things happen here, and get united on some certain things and get some wins in the corner, and stop fighting over like who's gonna be the leader. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? It's time for us to just start getting some wins, baby, for the people. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now the thing is that what makes your show unique amongst some of the other shows that are out there? There's other podcasts. Like, why should people listen to Smoke Filled Room? Like, what's unique about it?
So I like to read a lot. I like to, my reading from my books that I read, that just kind of shapes my worldview. But that kind of really helps, because I do read a lot of books. I try to read a substantial amount of books, movement, different heroes from the civil rights movement, the labor movement. So I'm really into that, and that really helps shape my perspective, and it shapes my motivation to report the truth specifically without bias. Like, I'm writing it up because I'm writing up an article, and when I post the articles, I will do videos on the articles, and I'll have everything structured. And one of my articles I'm working on right now is on the USA Freedom Act, the USA Freedom Reauthorization Act, which had an amendment that was killed in the Senate by one vote, and that amendment to the USA Freedom Reauthorization Act would have prevented the U.S. government, specifically law enforcement agencies, from basically going through your web search history, planning information, or basically just finding out any uncomfortable information in terms of whatever you search on the internet. And as much as Bernie Sanders is not with the MPP, Nina Turner is with the MPP, but I really do hope that we could eventually get Bernie Sanders to join our coalition, because that would be huge for us. But the point is, when it came time to vote for both the act and the amendment to the act in the Senate, Bernie Sanders was one of 4 people who weren't there. And both my Democratic senators from California both voted to sell us out and give law enforcement the power to basically screw over anyone who opposes the corporate regime in America. And so the thing is, I'm not going to hold back on nobody. Like, I'm literally, like, even in that article, because these articles, there's a bunch of articles written on this, but I'm going to just go and I'm going to clown or like point out the corruption of some of the people that are in my gravitational field. So like the California senators, as well as Cory Booker, because he ran for president, as well as, Kamala Harris is in the both. But yes, but Bernie Sanders was one of the people who wasn't there to vote. And the amendment to prevent the web history thing, he could have changed that with one vote. He could have taken it down with his one vote. He could have stopped it. Because people love to say that your vote, one person's vote, never changed anything. Well, you know what? Bernie Sanders' one vote could have stopped us from having our unenumerated rights to privacy on the internet not invaded. But we have to criticize. I will criticize everyone. It doesn't matter if I love Bernie Sanders. He still misstepped, and I that's just something I have to tell the people, because it makes me feel a certain way. Because again, one vote, it does take one vote to make change in some situations. In this case, this is a very big situation.
Yeah.
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's cool. Nah, Bernie's always been a nice old guy, you get what I mean? But he needs animals like us to like come out of the framework, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, what they're offering us is just straight insulting, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, they should make Bernie Sanders VP. You know what I mean? Like, the thing is that, like, if they get Biden, right, like, fine, whatever, you get Biden, like, whatever, fine, you guys consolidate, you play your game. But how are you going to say Bernie's not even in the running and put, like, Klobuchar as someone who didn't even get close to the number of votes that Bernie did? You get what I mean? And then, like, and put AOC on the cabinet or something. I mean, do a task force? What the freak is a task force? That's garbage. How you know what I mean? Like, if we're, like, you ask us to accept Biden, right? But then you don't take anything from us. You give us nothing. You give us bullshit. Like, come on. You know what I mean? You're insulting us. You get what I mean? Like, yeah,
and like
straight up.
Another thing of my show is I'm gonna, at the end of every like show, aside from the segments, at the end I'm just gonna have like a short segment before I go where I just look up anti-Joe Biden memes or people hating on Joe Biden in comment sections because I hate him. I don't like him.
Oh, you'll
He's
love
a former racist.
Have you seen my videos? They're mad funny. Like where I'm like smack my bitch up and I smack Joe Biden and all kinds of funny videos, man. You seen my like my stuff? I'm gonna send you some of my stuff,
you gotta
man.
link me to that.
And the Malcolm X stuff. You're gonna love all that, man. You're gonna love this. This is just right up your alley. It's just in your flavor, man.
Yeah.
But you see
basically, I'm gonna have that. I'm definitely gonna have interviews eventually, specifically with our progressive candidates that are going to be endorsed by Our Revolution LA, as well as if MPP sets up some type of endorsement thing, because we're still in the beginning of the building of the infrastructure of the third party. We're still, because we haven't even had the convention, the People's Convention yet. So that's we're not in any place to basically be legitimate until we get closer and closer and closer to the People's Convention. But yeah, so I'll be basically I'll also be staying up to date with things that Our Revolution LA, as well as the MPP is doing. So like you'll have the first-hand news of like what they're doing. So if like they decide to do a campaign one day, I'll have at the beginning of my segment, I'll be like, yo, MPP's doing this campaign on Twitter. Y'all need to share this. Y'all need to go do this. Oh, this person needs some phone bankers.
When is your first show airing?
Doing an event with this person.
When is your first show airing?
It's definitely going to air either tomorrow on Thursday or on Sunday.
Okay. Cool, man.
On Sunday.
All right, cool. So we want
all it's good because I have to go to work on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna film on one of those Thursday or Sunday.
Have you edited videos before? You know what's coming up? You done the editing before?
No. So basically, I just have this big TV and this corner setup and the camera and the tripod.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna be basically displaying everything on the TV since it's a pretty big TV.
That's cool.
And then, just going through it.
Cool, man. Sounds like a good time, man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Make sure you send me the link.
I'll also be like ranting a lot because, again, I read these books, so it shapes my mind, and I feel like I have a lot of creative solutions to a lot of problems that people need to hear. I mean, sometimes I say some poetic, prophetic shit. Like I've been on Tim Black TV, and the audience sometimes calls me a prophet when I do a super chat. It's really funny.
Oh, really? That's cool, man. That's cool. Okay.
It's funny. Because
cool, man.
One time I commented on the Warren Democrats. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a joke. It's a huge joke. But yeah, I commented on that one time, and yeah, Elizabeth Warren makes my skin crawl. I'll put it that way.
I understand that. Yo, I'm kind of a beast myself. Like the things I told you today, man. You know, when you're like, oh shit, right? Like honestly, we're gonna do some big things. I'm definitely determined to make it happen, baby. So, yo, man, it was really cool to meet you, man. I'm really excited about your show. You know what I mean? I'm definitely a big supporter, and you got a new fan, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you as well.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, no doubt. So thanks again for checking us out, and I'll probably get this up first thing tomorrow. God bless, my brother.
Dope. Stay woke, y'all.
Peace, man. See you.
Smoke-filled room.
Haha. All right.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We
words
are on all
is
the
beyond
major
doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos. Make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot. And looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.